right now. Now, Warren Buffett doesn't like holding cash because obviously there's no interest, there's no appreciation in value there. So he doesn't like to hold cash. And right now he's sitting on 122 billion. Now, back in sort of 98, it was when we had the Russian crisis. He actually wrote to all his shareholders apologizing for holding so much cash. But then they were holding $15 billion. And now they're holding $122 billion. So that tells you a lot about his strategy in being that he doesn't think the market's bottomed out yet. Sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say he did invest in Delta Airlines recently, put quite a lot of money into Delta Airlines, but I think that was more of a strategic acquisition. I don't think that was because he thought the markets had bottomed out whatsoever. I think there was other reasons for that. It was more that was more of a PR exercise, in my opinion.
I think Buffett is really traditional in his investments. He has a lot of brick and mortar type businesses he's involved with, right?
Yeah, he does. Again, it's very much value investing. He always looks at the company to see what looks at the balance sheet and looks at the potential to see what is that company actually worth, not just I think this industry will go up in value or whatever it may be. It's he does look very, very specifically at each investment.
Do they still have a lot of shares in Apple?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, they still got the Apple shares. I think the one of the big boys I think that's obviously going to do very, very well is Amazon. Now, if you look at the Amazon share price, obviously, as I said, we've just had the worst Q1 ever in the history of the stock market. But Amazon shares, if you look at Amazon shares from the 1st of Jan to 31st of March, they actually went up in value very slightly. Not a lot, wasn't a huge lift, but to be able to hold their own and actually go up a little bit when, the whole world's collapsing around them, it's phenomenal. And then you've got to look at sort of psychologically, will people want to start going back to shopping malls as soon as as everything starts to be lifted? Obviously we're all kind of in isolation right now in quarantine, but I don't think personally, if Donald Trump in the US and Boris Johnson in the UK announce that, okay, we're gonna allow you all to go back out and start shopping again, allow all the shops to open, I don't think everyone's going to start flooding back to the shopping malls straight away. So I think retail is taking a hit, which again is a major benefit to Amazon.
I agree. I think it's going to be hard. I think this is going to change. A lot of people are going to get like a post-traumatic type situation, I think, from this whole thing. A lot of people are being affected by the media, what they're hearing daily. It's hitting them that way. Then they're knowing people personally that are either getting ill or passing away. And then the other thing is they're being isolated from people, and a lot of people are stuck in their homes. So it's not going to be an easy thing to go right back to being normal, I don't think.
I think it's also teaching people or proving to people how easy it is to work from home. I'm constantly on Zoom and Slack and Facebook Messenger on the video there. I own a few different companies, and we're all kind of working from home now. The offices are shut, but we're just on Zoom conference calls, audio and video conference calls, and it's kind of proving to me that you don't. But obviously, the UK is obviously a very, very small country, probably fit into Florida, but if you look at sort of Manchester, where I am, which area I live, down to London, it's 2 hours on the train. And I'm constantly going down to London for meetings with investors and deal makers. And now, obviously, we're not allowed to leave the house, we're not allowed to get the train. So we're just doing these meetings over Zoom. But then you sort of have a meeting over Zoom now and realize you've achieved just as much as you would have done had you spent the whole day traveling to and from London. I think a lot of people are realizing that now. Yeah.
Right. It's very true because, ever since this hit, everybody's like, how's your business doing? And I'm like, well, I've always worked from anywhere, practically from my house, from the office. I can work from anywhere. And I've always been very productive on calls, Zooms. And if anything, I've become busier than I've ever been because of this, because everybody's like you said, now everybody wants to go into, social media accounts, Zoom accounts, what can I do for my business to, go from in person to online, and so many questions about that as well. But yeah, I agree with you 100%, and it's still productive. You don't have to spend gas, you don't have to spend money. If anything, I was actually telling Daniel the other day, I'm like, wow, we only spend money on food, but we don't go out, so we don't spend money on anything else, and it's actually pretty lasting.
Yeah. I think in many ways, I'm getting more work done now than I was prior to this, because say there's no travelling involved. I've got companies down in the Midlands of the UK. I spend a lot of time in London, down in the southwest. And just because I'm not allowed to leave the house, I think it's far more productive. The actual concentration of the number of hours I'm working is said that there's not sort of 5 hours of traveling each day, which is great in a way.
Right. So that's how you were able to start your podcast. So tell us about your podcast and the name of it.
Yeah, the podcast. I did my first interview, which is funnily enough, I interviewed JT Fox, who you mentioned earlier, where we met in Florida. Now, JT interviewed me in 2018 at his Mega Success event in LA. There's about 2,500 people in the audience. They're all business people, investors, entrepreneurs, and other people who were interviewed at the same event were top CEOs from around the world and also top A-list celebrities. So on the day I was interviewed, they interviewed Mel Gibson, Michael Douglas, and myself, and so it kind of put me on a platform there, and on a pedestal, which is fantastic. So I thought, well, now I'm sort of launching my own podcast. It's the obvious choice for him to be the first person I interview.
That's really cool. I've actually talked to him online before, but we've never got a chance to personally meet. I do know he's very good at what he does. He
is absolutely superb. He is the number one wealth and business coach in the world, and he does live up to that title. I think he's got one of the sharpest business brains of anyone I've ever met.
Well, that's coming from you. That's a lot. Because I know you're very you're cut to the chase and very you don't make you won't make statements like that, and I don't know you.
I wouldn't make that statement if I didn't believe in it. I wholeheartedly
absolutely
believe that. I do. Yeah.
Well, look forward to meeting you in person sometime.
Yeah, definitely, great. Yeah, great. And
so any other questions you want to ask him before we go?
Just get some sleep. I promise I won't text you late.
Yeah, please get the world clock. Please, I don't know if Daniel can listen. Daniel's listening, but Daniel, can you get a world clock, please?
I will tell him.
So I have a question for you. So are you doing seminars right now? Did I miss something?
No. I don't really do the seminars. No, I mean I work. I have a great database of investors that I work very closely with. So I've got some great deal makers around the world that bring me deals. So I'm not really looking to go out to the masses. As such, it's more sort of I like what I do. So it's like a dating agency. I've got deals on one side, I've got investors on the other. It's for me to match them together and help them structure the deal and strategically develop the deal. So for me, it's not really a seminar. Seminars aren't really for me and for what I'm trying to do. It's more sort of individual recommendations, individual introductions.
You sound like the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, thank you.
You're behind the curtain. You're behind the scenes, making things happen.
Definitely.
And nobody really knows you're behind there. They see one image, but maybe there's something else behind the curtain that they're not aware of.
Only the ladies know.
That's why he's behind the curtain.
Sounds good to me.
Well, I'd like to thank Paul Johnson. You want to thank Paul?
Thank you, Paul, for coming. I appreciate it, and I can't wait to hear your podcast.
I'm excited. I want to hear it too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thanks very much. I can't wait to come to San Diego. So I've been to San Francisco, I've been to LA a couple of times, and I've never been down as far as San Diego. And I'm really looking forward to coming over and meeting you guys.
Oh, that'd be cool. And the name of your company is Global Private Equity.
Global Private Equity.
And the name of your podcast is
The Global Dealmaker.
I'm telling you, you sound like you should be doing workshops and seminars.
Well, maybe one day.
Okay. One day. Thank you so much for being on the show, Paul.
Take care.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me. Thanks, Brett. Thanks, Crystal. And
I'd also like to thank again our sponsors, Attorney King, Cosmopolitan Hotel and Restaurant, and Indian Motorcycles of San Diego. I wish everybody the very best, and God bless.